Welcome to Lou's Lounge.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. For anyone that doesn't know, this is my best friend, Aimee. I just thought I'd bring her on just to chat about life and just to show you a little bit more of what I do and who I am, and also I really wanted to give you an insight to her and her life and her amazing brand that she's just started up. So if you want to tell everyone, introduce yourself.
Okay.
Go for it.
My name is Aimee. I am Lou's best friend, as she said. I started my own women's wear brand back in 2020, September. It's called Odd Muse. And yeah, I think that's about it.
So
Lou said I'd really undersell myself, and here I am.
No, we need to big her up because it's amazing, honestly. So you started, it's almost a year old, right?
11th of September, yeah.
So almost a year.
1 year. We made it.
We made it together. It was hard. But what was the thing that made you want to get into it?
Well, I studied fashion at university. I always thought I wanted to be a fashion buyer. And then I went to work at ASOS, and I just realised that I needed to combine my love for fashion with sort of an entrepreneurial side of me, because it was really slow progression. I genuinely believe I wasn't made for a 9-to-5 job. I feel like I'm more creative and I want to go with my own ideas and stuff like that, and I wasn't really getting that from an entry-level job, and I knew I wasn't going to get that for at least 5 to 10 years, and I just couldn't stand the thought of that. So over lockdown, I just got the ball rolling with my own brand, and then I spent enough time with myself to pluck up the courage to actually do it. So yeah, and started 11th of September 2020.
So I remember we were doing a shoot together. We did the USA Pro shoot, almost 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
And we were talking about it, and you were saying to me, I really want to do it. It's such a risk. You were still at ASOS. What would you say to people that really want to leave their job, their stable, secure job with stable income, and you know what you're getting each month, and you know life is just there. It's good, it's stable, it's steady, because it's scary, and you were scared.
I was definitely scared, but what I would say when you start your own business is that I quit my job at ASOS to start Odd Muse, but I made sure I had a passive income. So I was doing marketing bits, and I really taught myself Photoshop and Illustrator. So I developed a skill I could make money from to take the pressure off of my business. So I would say if you're in a 9-to-5 job, just be working on the side on your brand, and if it is going to be a situation where you leave and then you haven't got that passive income, you're going to have a bit too much pressure on this new business, and it might take the fun and the passion out of it. So, I mean, I always say I didn't really like the idea of going to ASOS every day with sort of the slow progression. But once I turned it into a situation that I was there to learn, and I was going to leave one day, and it didn't matter that I was not going to get that promotion. I skip to work every single day. So I would just say be working on it in the side. Maybe take less pressure off the fact that you need to leave and start. You can definitely juggle both.
You have always been really good at having something else, because that's one thing that really inspires me about you, is that you had a little thing, your Instagram page called Aimee Style, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Which where you showed all your outfits, because you were so invested in fashion and outfits. And I'm going to go a bit off topic, but I remember being at school, and I was at school and you were in sixth form, and they're kind of combined, aren't they, the school and sixth form. And I always used to walk past you, and we didn't really know each other, and I always used to think, oh my God, I love her clothes. You just had the best clothes, so simple and classy, and you had the best hair. And from that moment, I was like, woo, she needs to be my friend.
And here we are.
And then we kind of became friends.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we,
you know how.
We know how. I know how we became friends, but it was just a weird, what do they call it? A full circle
moment.
Yeah, one of them.
What it's called?
And now you're doing what you've always been destined to do, clearly.
Yeah.
Because people don't just pick things out about people like that.
Yeah.
You were clearly showing that forever. And that's why I think it's important to always just follow what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I think I feel like fashion is such this big thing, and there's a height of Instagram influencers. I think it takes a lot to really realise, for me at least, what I wanted to do in fashion. And then I was It was actually when we went to the House of CB Christmas party, and we got there, and I was like seeing all these girls I follow on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I thought I wanted to like be them, but then obviously Connor Walker was there, and I was like, I want to be that girl.
Be
like
her,
I don't care for people to know who I am. I just want like
to make other
I want people to wear my clothes.
Yeah.
Like I want to be the one who has a room full of people wearing my dresses,
and they might not even know who I am.
Yeah, that's so
so that's what I'm going for.
That is so good. I love that. I love Connor. So when you started, did you like? I know this, but your family, were they supportive? Were your friends supportive? Were they like, oh, there's risk? They were scared for you. It's a scary thing to do. It is so scary.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I would say actually, it was only like you and your mum actually that was actually, of course, who actually said to me, like, I remember being in your kitchen after the USA Pro shoot, and your mum was like asking me like what I want to do and stuff like that, and I was like, I really want my own brand, and I remember having conversations with like in my family, and it used to sort of just annoy them a little bit, like not from a perspective that they didn't want me to do it more, because I just wouldn't shut up about it. And then like your mum just said to me, well, just do it. I was like, okay.
And then she just did it.
And then obviously it's like easier for someone outside of a family to like say, yeah, do it. Obviously in the back of my mum and dad's head, they're thinking, she's going to quit her job, spend all her savings, and if it doesn't work out, we've got to deal with our very emotional daughter. But the point was, I was never going to like stop until, like there would have been moments of like me being really disheartened, but I would have never stopped trying. So it couldn't have not gone right, because I wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important, because as I said, when you're destined to do something, you just got to keep going until it happens.
Yeah.
You don't know how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And there's been so many amazing moments already, and you're not even a year in. People have worn your clothes. Like who's like your favourite person that's worn your clothes? I mean, can you say favourites? I guess you can.
I mean, I went into it obviously
but...
like really wanting Lorna Lux to wear it, and that happened within like the second month. Like that was the most crazy moment for me. Like genuinely, I was like, I just really want her to wear my clothes.
You sent me a voice note crying. She was so happy.
I was literally on the kitchen floor like crying, because I knew that person had to wear my brand. Like literally that day we sold everything we had, and I had this like mad rush to try and get stock in, because I just knew that she would be that person for me.
And didn't she buy it herself?
Yeah, she bought it completely herself.
So
like
good.
Her real name isn't even Lorna Lux, so I didn't even know it was going to her, and then she posted it on Instagram, and I was like,
that's amazing.
I literally was like, messaged her like, oh my God, you don't understand how happy I am. Like I'm on my kitchen floor, no one's in, I'm crying.
Oh my God.
And I remember she messaged me back like, I'm shooting it next week in Paris, and I was literally like,
oh,
I'm crying again.
God.
But yeah,
Odd Muse in Paris.
that was like my goal of like, but
and it
there's
happened
more
straight
people,
away.
Yeah. I definitely want to see it in like someone really influential in like America.
Who would be your dream?
Probably Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, Hailey Bieber.
She's the blazer queen.
Yeah, she is the blazer queen. She's hard to get though.
Yeah, she is hard to get. We'll get there.
But I like the idea of it just happening quite naturally. Like I don't
think the best one always happen like that. It's like with the Lorna thing, like you can't write that.
Yeah. So
like you manifested that.
Yeah, and also like obviously I care about sales and stuff like that, but for me, Lorna buying that blazer and actually wanting to wear it just meant everything to me. So if Hailey Bieber did that, that would be like the best moment of my life.
It will happen organically, for sure.
I mean, I'm sure it will happen. It doesn't need to happen now. I'm just trusting it will happen in the future.
It will.
So Hailey, if you ever stumble across this video,
Hailey,
we're wearing Odd Muse right now.
We need you. So like, there's obviously been incredible moments, and I don't want to be negative, but we need to talk about like the downsides, because it's having your own brand and your own business in general is like this. Mm-hmm. You're funding everything yourself. Mm-hmm. You're doing it all on your own. Mm-hmm. You don't have that many people working for you yet.
No.
Which is a new thing. You're starting to recruit people, right, and like get them to help out with stuff, which is important because there's so much to do.
Yes.
Especially, I feel like social media is a job in its own.
Oh, 100%.
So,
and that's
how do you juggle everything?
Well,
I can't even juggle my own Instagram. I don't know how you do it.
I would definitely say like the whole year has definitely been like this whole thing is definitely like the most mentally challenging thing I've ever had to do. Like I never went into this thinking that I'd scale this quickly and suddenly have to become like a businesswoman. Like when I started out, I was just designing my clothes and packing orders, and it wasn't much more than that. And then literally within a month, it was like importing like thousands of pounds worth of stock and trying to present it in all different ways to customers, and also pack the orders and stuff like that. So it has been like so mentally challenging. I've learned so many lessons like about logistics behind running a brand. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I know like next year I'll be perfect. I just know that because I've made a lot of mistakes this year. But also I quite like the fact that I went through that really like mentally challenging time, because I genuinely feel like no matter how big my business gets, like I will always understand every area. Because like for a solid like year I had to do it all.
And I don't think you grow if you don't make mistakes. Because if it all goes perfectly, how are you ever going to know what bit you did right and what bit you did wrong?
If there's any time to make your mistakes, it's at the beginning anyway. So yeah.
And it's just fine. You have so much growth from that as well.
I feel like I've grown like so much as a person and as a businesswoman. I still got.
I feel like you have
loads to go.
Like on a personal level, I feel like you have, because I just feel you just seem happier.
I feel like I can just deal with things. I feel like I can just deal with things a lot better now. Like I think it's part of getting older as well, but you just realise that like there's more stuff going on in the world, and like there's things that you can't help. So there's no point like being stressed about it. And also I think like recently I've got like 2 assistants, and like I'm not going to cry in front of them. So that's helped.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's been like a really tough year. Obviously I'm very good at maintaining on Instagram like a professional look, but yeah, it's been like the most mentally challenging thing I've ever done in my life.
But you do also share like the down parts on your Instagram, which I like.
I do.
On the brand's Instagram as well as your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, because people probably, I mean, social media in itself is just a whole other conversation, but we all know that it's the good parts on anyone's Instagram, unless you're like completely 100% real and you literally film yourself crying and all of that, and it happens. But I think it's really nice that you show people that, because it's being real from the start. You're not like, oh, it was so good to get here, everyone's wearing my stuff and it's all going great. It's not going to go great all the time in anyone's life.
Yeah, of course.
It's nice.
And I feel like when I was first starting out, like I was desperately trying to look for someone who was in a good position in their brand that had a bit more transparency about them, because I literally started like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I knew a little bit about, like I knew my vision, what I wanted to manufacture, but like the rest I really had to figure out, and it was really hard. So now like when I get all these questions and like people ask, I'm like, I don't want to make it as difficult for someone else as it was for me. So yeah, I think like being transparent has been like a big thing of mine. And also like I think it's been part of why the brand's been so successful, because it is a bit of a competitive edge. Not everyone's doing it, and maybe more people should.
And like when you're vulnerable with people and you're honest and open, how can you lose?
I know.
Not that it's about winning or losing, but it's just about everyone is the same. We all have the same feelings, and we all go through the same stuff, whether you're starting a business or starting a new job.
Exactly.
It's all the same thoughts and feelings, so it's just nice to show that it's just that one step closer of being more connected with
100%.
So the name Odd Muse, how did it actually come about? Because I know you had it for ages.
Yeah, I had it for
just sitting on it, and you were like trying to find everything to the branding and the logos and.
So the name Odd Muse come from. It sounds quite cliche, but it just felt really real to me. So like, I feel like in this day and age, like a muse is someone with loads of followers and who looks a certain way and who dresses a certain way, and like how fast fashion is. And I feel like I just wanted to slow fashion down, slow the world down, social media, or just represent that in a way where like everyone's a muse. And as cliche as that sounds, but also as odd as that is in this day and age, like you're still a muse, like whether you're a businesswoman, whether you're an Instagram influencer, it's not necessarily like saying someone's not, it's just more like everyone, like the influencers, the creators, like everyone in everywhere
even if
is
you're
a muse.
bit odd.
And if that's, my thought was, it's really simple, if that's odd, then Odd
You're a
Muse.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that. That's so simple.
So simple but effective.
But you started like having. So you started off doing it on your notes on your phone, right?
Yeah.
And just like writing down ideas.
On the train to work.
Because I remember you saying to me, I don't know how to draw and sketch. And so how did you overcome that?
I just think like the day and age we live in is like the biggest opportunity ever. Like you can literally go online and teach yourself anything. So like to get the passive income, I taught myself how to market. I was making menus for restaurants and brochures for businesses and stuff like that. So I had to teach myself that, and then I taught myself how to draw like designs, and I'm teaching myself more about fashion design every day. Like I've just learnt not to be intimidated about anything I don't know, because in 2021 you can literally teach yourself anything on like YouTube and online, like literally anything.
It reminds me of the saying that you told me the other day. It made me die. If you throw enough shit at the wall, it will stick.
Something will stick.
Something will stick.
It's true though.
I've never heard that before, and then when you told me that, it's all I keep thinking in my head.
Just keep
I'm
throwing it
just
at the
going to
wall.
keep doing things, and something will happen. And it's true.
It's so
It's
gross
so
though.
true.
I would
It's
never
so
say that
gross.
to anyone outside my friendship circle, but here we are.
Oh, sorry, everyone.
But it's true. If you throw enough stuff at the wall, something will stick.
There you go. Aimee Smale,
true.
2021. What would your biggest piece of advice be to someone that really wants to start a business or just start something new or a passion and make it into an income or a job of their own?
I would say like you just have to be like completely fearless. Like I feel like the worry of what people might think might have stopped me for a long time, and I actually thought like maybe people will think I'm throwing too much at the wall. Like I was working at ASOS. I had this like marketing company. I was doing like this fashion Instagram, but I was just throwing stuff at the wall, and here I am. So I'd just be fearless, because you never know.
Yeah. And there's always new things to try out, and if something makes you happy, then why not turn it into a job or something that you can make money from?
Yeah, I think when you
do it because you love it.
Yeah, I think when you really sit down, like when I really sat down and thought, right, because in my mind I'm like, oh, I want this big fashion brand. Wow, I want a brand like House of CB. It's huge. It's such a huge thing to say. But then when you sit down and you actually strategically think about, okay, how can I start this? What's my first? But when you really sit down and plan that, it makes it a lot easier to just do it. Like in my mind, I was like, right, okay, I'm spending all my savings on clothes, but I'm investing that. I'm getting like a lot of profit from that. And in my mind, I was just like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to sell it all cost price and I can say I tried. Yeah. So in my mind, I was like, if I was worried about losing the money, I would have just sold it all cost price.
Yeah.
And so what? I didn't care what people would think. It might have been a little bit embarrassing. But yeah, that was when I was like, right, okay, it's fine, let's just do it.
Yeah. And you did it and it worked.
The only people, and I think getting older as well, the only people you really care about what they think is like the closest people to you, and they're not gonna make you feel embarrassed if something doesn't work out.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And like what you just said is so true, because I was having a conversation earlier and I was like, the goal is this. How do you get there?
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming to look at what you want to be, and you think, where do I start? What do I do first? What bits? What?
Yeah,
it all feels confusing.
It's so easy to just like say the big goal and get overwhelmed by it, like, and also see it as like, Mum, I'm going to be a spaceman, but like, just like whatever, an astronaut. Just sit down and think about, okay, how do I get to this first step? How do I get to this next step? Like, and that's what I did. And then like you really rationalise it for yourself, and you essentially make it a lot easier for yourself.
Putting pen to paper, I think, is really important as well. But even doing it on your phone is like, it's great, but I feel like putting pen to paper really
I
makes
actually learnt that from you, definitely.
It makes it a reality, I think.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Like, I've gone through so many notepads in my life.
Yeah, I find it so much more inspiring, like pen to paper.
Yeah, and it's therapeutic as well.
It's cute to look for as well. Your phone could break.
Yeah.
And all them ideas are lost.
Yeah, that's true. What would you say in an ideal world is next for Odd Muse? Like the next step?
So I really just want to take it like global. And I have had to slow myself down a little bit with this, because obviously how successful the first year's been, I'm like, right, okay, we need to launch in this country, launch in this country, launch in this country. And then at a time I was getting a bit ahead of myself. But again, I've come back to rationalise it, what country I want to start in first, and looking where other countries, where the sales are. So I think naturally I just want to become like a global brand. I just want to grow quite naturally. Yeah. In my mind, I was getting a bit ahead of myself. But, you know, I'm very aware that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time and time doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Would you ever like to have stores?
Yeah, I literally want to do the same sort of business model as House of CB, like not loads of stores, but like flagship stores, like make an experience for someone in one city.
Yeah.
So like London, like LA, like just like flagship stores, so people can like travel and really create like an experience from that.
Prosecco on arrival.
Prosecco on arrival, part of the brand.
100%. Oh, well, thank you. It's been so nice to chat. It's been a bit strange, actually, because, like...
Hey, how are you?
Oh, yeah, fuck. Sorry.
What?
Thank you. Before you go, I have a little section in every YouTube series episode where I ask the guests how they really are. And it's a bit, you can get deep with it, you can be joyous with it if that's how you're feeling. But like right now, in this moment, how are you doing? What do you do when you're not feeling so good? And what do you do when you are? Like right now, how are you doing today?
Right.
It's actually quite a difficult question because you never really...
Well, today you've caught me on a good day. I'm actually quite good today.
Because you're with me.
Yeah, that might be why. But like every day is different for me. I think I could leave here now and check my emails and my day could be ruined.
Yeah.
But I think that's all part of it all. Like I know I'm on a journey, so like I'm trying to turn my shit days, can I say that?
Yeah.
Into like days that I remember and that I learn from and stuff like that. I'm like obsessed with learning.
That's good.
No, I know, but like I'm obsessed with learning. I always say if I'm not laughing and if I'm not learning, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Because you have to be, in whatever situation you're in life, you have to either be enjoying yourself or learning something. Like when I was at ASOS, I wasn't enjoying it, but like I was learning a hell of a lot.
What about when you're not so good? What do you do? We spoke a little bit how, you know, the brand can be like this and the emotions involved in it can be like this. So when you are one of them dips, what do you do to make yourself feel better? Do you just go with the flow? Is there anything in particular that you do? Or just as a person, like someone might piss you off. What do you do? Someone might make you feel down. What do you do? It's not always about connecting yourself with your brand because you're your own person as well.
I think that's exactly what it is, like not connecting myself too personally to situations that are going on. Like I was saying to you the other day, like I remember if sales were down, I used to like feel so shit about myself.
Personally attacked.
And like, and it was like, but like there's so many reasons in the world why people might not be shopping online in that very moment.
Just a few.
And that's the same like everywhere. Like even if someone, like if you post a photo on Instagram and people don't like it, stuff like that, there's so many other factors involved that you are not a part of. So I think in all like situations that really annoy me, I just try and disconnect the personal connection because 9 times out of 10 it's nothing to do with you and it will be over tomorrow. Everything is like temporary. So just 100%.
I love that. Well, thank you. It's been really nice.
You're so welcome.
It's been strange but nice. It feels like just a normal chat, but then you look at the camera and you're like, fuck. But yeah, it was lovely to chat. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for watching. If any of the stuff we spoke about today resonated with you and you want to reach out to someone for help, please have a look at the links below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Mwah!